Okay, so I just shot this video and another one, and I thought I had audio on it, but I had the line-in mic selected, which I don't have one, and I'm sorry that you're going to hear my fan through this, but maybe this will make it a little better. I'm going to just grab a cigarette real quick and get right into it. This is a review of Aminita Muscaria, also known as fly agaric mushrooms. So here's the thing. When I first got them, I figured I would try to see if I'm allergic, just make sure I don't have some bad reaction to it. So I ate a very small amount, like maybe a tenth of a cap. It's a very small amount, maybe even less. I was just testing the waters, making sure that I didn't have an allergic reaction. So after I did this, I smoked about another eighth of a cap. And when I smoked it, I felt a very peaceful state. It was not comparable to cannabis, but it was about the same level as cannabis. Like the experience was completely different than when you smoke cannabis. It's much different. But it was just smoking an eighth of a cap was enough to really make me feel, and it may have actually been less than that. It may have just been a couple drags off of an eighth of a cap because I remember putting it down. So yeah, it was a very small amount. It put me in a very relaxed state very quickly. The state of relaxation that lasts when you smoke it is about, we'll say, an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's nowhere near like when you eat it. And before I smoked it, I took a bottle of, well, not a bottle, but a glass of a brew of Blue Lotus flowers, and I will do a review on Blue Lotus as well. I just took a glass of that to make sure that I would be very calm and very relaxed for any sort of effects that I would have. And I found that when I smoked smoked the mushrooms with the combination of that and the Blue Lotus tea, I felt that I was enjoying it so much, and it was just a couple drags off of it. And here's where it gets better. Later on that day, once the experience had sort of worn off a bit, and I got them yesterday, so later yesterday, I took about 3/4 of a cap. And I was with my fiance. He was my trip sitter. And he took it after I took it so that it wouldn't be dangerous for either of us. And when I took it, I crushed it up, put it in applesauce, because by itself, it's very gritty. It doesn't taste very good. It's like a cross between bark and a dog biscuit. It smells like a dog biscuit, like, a dog treat. And when I ate that, and then I smoked a little bit of Blue Lotus and a little bit of the mushroom, within about 5 minutes of smoking it, I felt the effects of smoking the mushroom. I didn't feel the effects of actually eating it yet, because it takes about an hour for it to kick in after you eat, and I hadn't eaten in about 5 hours, just to make sure I would have an empty stomach. I had drank a little bit, but it was Gatorade, so it may have actually helped it absorb a little faster, because within about 35 minutes, I within about 35 minutes, I started to feel the effects of the mushroom that I had eaten. And when I ate it the second time, I also had some Blue Lotus tea there to help me, just bring it down, make myself nice and mellow. And when I ate it and I started to feel it, I had just this overwhelming sense of peace. I was noticing texture too, texture and sound. And everything that had any sort of texture, so anything I saw was just, I was in awe of the beauty of the texture of it. And I would feel wooden boards that are at the walls, and just the feeling of touching it was so beautiful. And every sound that I heard was just magnified and made 1,000 times more beautiful than if you heard it before. Like birds chirping. Oh my gosh. It was the most beautiful sound ever. It was better than music. And so after all that, once I really started to feel it about 3 hours later, I had smoked maybe a hit off of cannabis res, so it was just like nothing, basically. So I don't think that even really had an effect. But after about 3 hours, I felt entranced in everything I saw. Like I would just stare off into space and see beautiful, beautiful space. I didn't see any, I didn't get any hallucinations from it. So it was just like a very deep, very powerful meditation. And it was beautiful. I have to say, it was some of the most beautiful feelings I've ever felt. And I, after about 5 hours, it started to come down, but I felt the effects for 8 hours, basically. And let's see here. I've got a little list of what happened, just in case I forget anything. Yeah, it was just a beautiful state of relaxation, bliss, peace. It was almost euphoric. And then, let's see. Yeah, it's hard to understand and hard to explain how amazing I felt. And I took a very small amount, like I said, 3/4 of a cap, which is very little. And another thing, while I was on it, was I felt love in so many ways. And it helped. Like I loved everything that was good. Like I didn't feel hatred for anything at all. But the things that I know are good and morally correct and just a beautiful thing. What I felt for that was just this overwhelming sense of love. And we're at 9 minutes, so I'm gonna have to sort of wrap this up, even though I can, do a lot of shit, like make a 15-minute video, and then if I want I can make it longer. But at any rate, it was, I had an upset stomach already, and when I took them, it didn't make it worse, it didn't make it better. It was just like my stomach hurt. And I'm going to try it again when I don't have a stomach ache, just to see what it's like without the distraction of a stomach ache. But yeah, I ate it with applesauce. It was pretty good. But yeah, the next morning I had a slight hangover from it. and I will tell you how I got over that with the mushrooms, like by ingesting more in some way, and I'll do that in a later video. It was just a very spiritual experience, but I'm not recommending anyone do any illegal substances, but since this is legal as of now, I recommend it to anyone who wants to have a spiritual, relaxing experience. And just feel that state of bliss. But, yeah, I recommend it to anyone who's feeling like they need that experience in their lives. So, 2 thumbs up for it. Aminita Muscaria, also known as fly agaric. You can buy it on Amazon, you can buy it on eBay. It's legal pretty much everywhere. I don't know of anywhere that it's illegal, in the United States anyway. But yeah, that's all for this review, this sort of experience that I had. And I will talk to you guys later. Just have a good one, relax, be Entheogen friendly. Goodbye.